Now look, cars are great, we all know that, but if you want real excitement, real horsepower, you have to go to a world beyond the Ferrari 355. So, extreme machines then, big boys' toys. To get involved, you really need three things: money, balls, and space to play. That's why we start tonight in the Wild West, the gambling-rich state of Nevada, where once a year, brave men come to the desert and, make a few changes. What they do is build a number of pylons out in the scrub to mark out a course, and then they indulge in what can only be described as the fastest motorsport the world has ever seen. These planes are doing 500 miles an hour, 50 feet from the deck. One 9-mile lap takes a minute. The rules of this sport are very, very simple. Fly fast, fly low, turn left. I'm at the Reno Air Racers, where every year a bunch of outlaw types descend on the desert in their vintage hot rods. But don't worry, this is not like a classic car meeting. It isn't all dirty fingernails and gear ratios. Sure, jets are banned, but for those who don't want the worry of racing a World War II fighter, there's now a cheaper alternative: Formula One. The engines are restricted, but as far as design goes, it's free-fall lateral thinking. Carbon fibre keeps the weight of this one down to just 500 pounds. That's 2 me's. This is the fastest of the lot, the Winged Williams. Slimming Magazine's Plane of the Year. Kind of looks like it was made by Pifco. Goes well, though.
This airplane's capable of running about 310 to 312 miles an hour straight and level on 100 horsepower.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. We like it. It's really fun. Unlike cars, we have the vertical element that we can overtake in. So it adds a whole lot of tactics to a race, as opposed to, you know, two cars diving in for one line. Our course has infinite amount of numbers of lines.
But if you touch, that really is it, isn't it?
No, not necessarily. We've had some planes that touch occasionally. It depends on how hard you touch. You know, it's kind of like a Formula One cars. They touch lightly and they swear at each other and keep driving, and this is a lot the same. We pull 6G in each turn minimum, and the airplane's designed around a 12G ultimate structure.
So these race car boys, then, they're wusses complaining about 4G.
Absolutely. I'd trade them 4Gs in a heartbeat.
Maybe you would. And I don't doubt you have it tough out there. But these Formula One planes are soufflés compared to the main course. The maddest, baddest, most dangerous racing vehicles on Earth. The unlimited warbirds. It's been said that if these things don't get your stuff going, your stuff isn't working. Now then, turning a 1940s fighter plane into a 1990s racer is quite a complicated thing. Most of the top guys fit a lower, sleeker cockpit. All of them, this one included, have 3 feet taken off each of the wings. Doesn't do much for the agility, but less drag equals more speed. With that in mind, they put tape over all the cracks and they wax and they polish the body. And then there's the engine, a twin supercharged Rolls-Royce Merlin V12. Used to produce 1,500 horsepower. In this, it's 3,000. Now, all that horsepower can create problems. You see, if you fit Spitfire gearing, as they have done with this plane, the propeller can spin so fast that the tips go supersonic. Now, at best, this creates drag and slows you right down. At worst, the blade can simply fall apart, and that, well, that is a really, really bad thing. The pilots, though, say that only when you're close to death do you really feel alive. They say this is a drug and are prepared to pay anything for their annual fix. So how much money are we talking about, then, to buy one of these planes and go racing with it?
Well, minimum $500,000 or $600,000 to get any one of these stock airplane going, and then you're going to have to put another, at least, if you want to be slightly competitive, you've got to put at least another $500,000 in it.
If you're paying all this money because you want to go fast, wouldn't it be easier to just get a jet?
Well, you could almost say, wouldn't it be easier to buy a ticket on the Concorde? You know, now you're going Mach 2. But there's a challenge and a thrill and a risk. And I think the measurement of adventure has something to do with risk. For example, you could have an adventure by watching a TV show, or you can get one of these things and go 500 miles an hour, 50 feet off the deck, with the engine this close to blowing up. And I'm not saying that's isn't that a grand thing to do, but it is adventuresome.
Anybody that comes out here and thinks that that engine is not going to blow up is really kidding themselves. It's kind of like riding a hand grenade with the pin pulled and the spoons jumped off. Is it going to blow up? Yeah. When it's going to blow up, I don't know. But it probably is going to blow up.
I think it's a lot like combat. And when you're passing a guy, he's the enemy. And you want him out of there, and you're taking a physical beating. You're pulling G's. It's hard on the body, hard on the mind. Sometimes I ask myself, what the hell am I doing here?
I hear myself sometimes breathing, and here's what it sounds like. I mean, the adrenaline is flashing, and your computer, your brain, has to be so alert to all kinds of things happening. People here, people there, your pressures, your systems, turbulence. You hit dirty air, can flip you on your back. It's quite a challenge.
Sadly, this sport is dying. People keep crashing and replacement planes are hard to find. Then, of course, there's America's obsession with personal safety. One day, it will almost certainly be banned. But unfortunately, it was all still legal when someone offered to take me for a ride. Welcome to my cockpit of a plane which currently goes about twice as fast as Rolls-Royce ever intended. I should have stuck to cars. I should definitely have stuck to cars. Here we go, building it up. Oh, we're airborne. I'm airborne in a Mustang P-51, made in 1943. Here's something worrying, okay? If a 1940s car breaks down, and it will a lot, you just coast to the side of the road.
but this doesn't understand the concept of coasting. It does a good line in plummeting. Oh, we're going low. We're going really, really low now. This is no more than 50 feet. It's turning. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Oh, my word. Our wingtip is like that far off the ground. Oh, bloody mighty! We just... What was that? Oh. This thing really is fast. We're over Las Vegas already.
Yes, good old Vegas. Twinned with Bourton on the Water. Or is it Burton-on-Trent? Or is it neither? Oh, who cares? I love this place.
You make me feel so. You make me feel so.
The trick in Las Vegas is to live your life at 200 miles an hour, even when you're on water.
Water? In Las Vegas? Yes. You see, when they built the Hoover Dam across the Colorado, they created Lake Mead, an inland sea which once a year becomes a racetrack. This is Formula One powerboat racing, an international series where there are more overtaking moves on each lap than you get in a whole year of Formula One car racing. As spectator sports go, they don't come much better or wetter than this.
Up ahead,
20 seconds. The flag is up. We are under starter's order.
You see, at Silverstone, the track is always the same, but out here, the surface is constantly changing. One breath of wind, and you've got a ploughed field. Crashes therefore come thick and fast. You can just pick a boat, watch it for a second or two, and it'll flip over backwards. There you go.
we've got to get something straight here. These racing engines produce 325 horsepower, and that's about the same as a Ferrari. Now, the boat all in weighs 300 pounds, and that's about the same as a fat person. Fast is too small a word. The acceleration is simply staggering. If you hit the throttle now, 2.9 seconds later, now, you're going 100 miles an hour. You would expect it to be rocket ship fast, but it does have one surprise in store. A Formula One car is made of carbon fibre. A Formula One plane is made of carbon fibre. But this, as you can see down here, is made of plywood.
You can see it even more clearly on the boats that have been crashed, which included the racer of 66 times champion Bill Siebold, who climbed from the wreckage and offered to take me for a spin in his specially built two-seater.
How many of you guys, forgive me for saying this, but get killed?
Well, until we came in with these safety cells, we had 5 drivers killed in 6 races.
Well, that's high-tech.
It certainly is. O-rings.
Right. Pedal to the metal, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go again. Yee-haw! Holy cow! Oh my word, this is really quick! Oh, G-force in a boat? That was unreal! Absolutely incredible! This is the most uncomfortable I've ever been in my life, ever! Ever. My vision has gone completely. Hey, there's a wake here, Bill. What are we going to do about this?
Well, we're just going to go around in it.
Well, that's madness. This is insane. Oh, Lord. Quarter-inch piece of plywood between my backside and oh, they're turning. You can't. How can you generate that kind of G?
Well, that's a little idea what it's like out here on a fairly smooth day.
They're breaking. Oh.
Yeah, that's good.
It's like there's no way we can have got any pictures because it's just going like that constantly. It's like you've got 50 pile drivers just banging away on you, just constantly. I mean, your vision goes, you're going straight into the sun, you can't see anything, the water's like concrete. It's that Mustang, that P51 Mustang's just nothing. It's nothing compared to that's the most. It was just terror. It was just stark terror from the moment you put your foot on the pedal to now.
I know it. I was scared to death the whole time.
This would scare him, though. This would scare anyone. It has a 5,000 horsepower engine from a Chinook transport helicopter. It has a canopy from an F-16 fighter, but we're still at Lake Mead. This is a boat with a propeller. It's called a hydroplane and it'll do 200 miles an hour. Now, obviously, in Britain, we have cricket, so we're used to fast-paced action. But this really is something else. I mean, we have Dickie Bird. They have Bernie Little, boss of the front-running Budweiser team.
I had the opportunity to see an unlimited hydroplane picture of one of them in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I lived in Tampa, Florida, so what I did is I picked up the phone and called the man that owned it and asked him to come see it and get a ride. And he said, sure, come on over for lunch. And I did. And I got a ride, and a couple hours later, I owned an unlimited hydroplane.
2 hours?
Yeah.
Why do you think unlimited hydroplanes are sort of stuck in America?
Well, we're trying to branch out and show the other countries what unlimited racing is about.
What do you think it is about?
I think it's about speed. And I want to go faster. I'm very upset that we're not racing unlimiteds anymore. They have a fuel restrictor on us.
Can you see a day when a 200-mile-an-hour lap's going to come?
Yeah, and you know, before they put the restriction on, we were running 205, 208 down the straightaways, you know, and running it safely. But
then through the turns, you're down to what, 160?
Oh, 170. You know?
170
Yeah,
through
well,
the
when he never takes his foot off. You know, like last weekend in San Diego, we were doing 197, 198 down the straightaway. His foot's on the floor, and he never takes his foot off. And he comes into the corner and he sets it up for the turn and just swings it right on around. His foot never comes off.
How mad do you think you have to be then to get into one of those boats?
Well, I don't have the courage. I drove a lot of them, and I used to drive them prior to enclosed canopy. When they closed the canopy, my drivers, I've always hired small drivers, so I couldn't get in. I never was attempted after they closed the canopy in.
You might think he's a chicken until you see why these things are called hydro planes.
Which is the best, Reno Air Races then, or this?
Oh, unlimited hydroplane racing by far. The Reno Air Races are great, and I've been flying all my life. I have somewhere 18,000 hours pilot in command. I fly my 6, 7 passenger Augusta helicopters built in Italy. I fly them. I've had 7 of them and Bell Jet Rangers on the back of my yacht. And I fly 2, 3 days a week. And I love flying, but there's nothing that'll compete with racing an unlimited hydroplane.
You know, spending a couple of days with a wealthy chap like Bernie Little has got me thinking. Throughout the world, there are literally thousands of people who earn, say, £5 million a year, and that works out at £2,500 an hour. So when an airline tells you to check in 2 hours early, it's costing you £5,000.
Now, let's be honest here. No one enjoys being treated like a veal. No one likes to hear that their plane is late and that they'll have to spend the night on a Bry nylon sofa. But people who earn £5 million a year have an alternative.
Welcome on board.
Thank you
My
very
name
much.
is Crystal, Captain Chisson.
How do you do? You fly safely.
I will.
May I take you to the table, please? Can I get something to drink for you?
Oh, some champagne, I think, thank you.
Some champagne,
Yes,
tight and
please.
will be okay?
Yeah. I'll have to broken it.
No, this isn't a dream. This is for real.
Yes, this is a Boeing 747, a jumbo jet, and apart from the crew, I'm the only person on it. I'm on my way to Detroit, where I'm going to get off, and you too will take it on to Montreal for their next gig. Back in the summer, the Rolling Stones used it for 3 weeks.
We have a tray of clams casino, bacon wrapped scallops, mozzarella with fresh tomatoes and basil, and you have your dressings right here.
And British Airways is the world's favourite airline, is it? Not anymore.
Now, you can bring your own chef along from the Georges V in Paris if you like, but I wouldn't bother. The food is superb. All I brought along was a camera team who I said would be able to enjoy the flight from one of the 92 first-class seats. Sadly, though, they had to spend the entire time filming me, fooling around.
The great thing is that the crew, most of whom are Icelandic, have signed a confidentiality agreement, so I can behave as badly as I want, and the news of the world will never find out.
The trouble is, I couldn't think of anything to do apart from work out some prices. If you want to charter this jet for a return trip to New York, it would cost £325,000. Very reasonable, really.
I've just popped upstairs for a little zizzy after my rather agreeable lunch. You see, I'm never going to get another chance. This plane is unique, and it's always busy. It may be very luxurious, but if you want convenience, you have to rethink.
A top-notch business jet is $35 million, while a used holiday jet like this 130-seater 727 is just $5 million. Sure, it uses a little more fuel, but come on. you've saved enough to replace the 130 seats with something a little more comfortable.
This belonged to Imperial Palace in Las Vegas. When I saw it, I wound up buying it the next day because the layout is so optimum for group traveling. One of the concerns about this size of aircraft is that it might be a bit ostentatious, but after you've ridden around in one for a while, it's, I believe, very, very preferable. The business jets are, if they're truly used for business, then you want to scoot around and get your job done. But if you want to transport a number of people in luxury, I've really changed my mind. I think this is the way to go. Everything you see in here has been hand fabricated in order to get this look. This Trompe-l'oeil dome was, people said I was nuts with that. That's kind of an idea from our home. That cabinet down there, the design portion of it alone and the fabrication was probably a $75,000 item for that one cabinet.
Wow, I'm amazed.
Well, the thing's an aircraft because they have to be structurally sound. It's not like a piece of furniture in your home. Everything's got to be exactly by the numbers. It's got to be able to stand a 9G loading in the case of an accident, and that runs up the cost of everything. Every single material in here, and there are probably between 60 and 70 materials in here, has to be burn tested and pass the burn test. And probably the most extreme example of that is the marble and granite pieces themselves have to be burn tested. And the metal
Well, they'd see if granite burns.
You have to see if granite burns.
They could have rung me up. I'd have told them probably
well,
not. Well,
that's right.
You can't use it all the time. Occasionally, you must have to use scheduled.
I never fly anything but economy.
So you fly economy?
I never. Even if I'm going to Australia, I will sleep in the back of the 747 and lay on the floor and sleep. I will not pay to ride in first class or
Why?
Because I'm cheap. I'm a cheap individual. I'd rather save my money and take this once in a while.
Now, they say that money doesn't buy you happiness, and they're absolutely right. But money does buy you a private jet and a World War II fighter and an unlimited hydroplane. And in the course of this series, I'm going to show you how you can use it to buy hovercrafts and jet boats and racing snowmobiles and an oil tanker and a space shuttle and an F-15 fighter. Keep watching.
Coming up, you don't get away from the great man that easily. If you've had enough of cars, let Jeremy take you on a voyage of speed and sheer engine power discovery. Clarkson's Extreme Machines, next.